Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair. All topics are for entertainment purposes only. None of the information presented in this video or by B-Girl TV should be taken as fact. Every situation is based on personal experience. Do you want to visit Panama, but you don't know quite yet what weekend you want to come? Guess what? 2025 Martin Luther King weekend is Rum and Brunch Music Festival here in Panama City. 4 days, 5 nights of non-stop event, with the last event being none other than Rum and Brunch, which is the deluxe edition, which is a concert series, okay? We have performances by local artists as well as international dancehall artists, so you don't want to miss this event. If you are on a budget, but you know you still want to go, don't worry, we got you covered. We have payment plans available. Click on www.rumandbrunch.com, click where it says Rum and Brunch Weekend, and read up about this amazing event that you don't want to miss. If you went to Rum and Brunch Weekend 2024, trust me, you don't want to miss 2025, because 2025, if you're a 90s baby, an 80s baby, and you was outside in 2000, you definitely don't want to miss this event. If you had a chance to participate in Rum and Brunch 2024, well, guess what? 2025 will even be better. If you were the ones that was sitting home looking at all the fun that we were having, well, guess what? This is your opportunity to be here. So if you love listening to dancehall, reggae, soca music, this event is for you. See you guys there. Peace and love. Do you want to visit Panama, but you don't know?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome. How's everyone doing today? I know I did not plan this live because you know what? Every time I schedule a live, something always happens and I end up not doing it. So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna schedule a live. I'm gonna just pop out when I know that everybody's home on this good Monday. So how's everyone doing? Shout out to everybody that is watching and tuned in on B-Girl TV on YouTube. What? There's people on here on X? Is X Twitter? What is X anyway? I think X is Twitter. Okay, shout out to everybody that's on Twitter, I guess. Shout out to everybody that's on my YouTube. You know, I love my YouTube family. Shout out to everyone that is on Instagram Live, y'all. Ow. Welcome. So you guys already know how it is because most of you guys are already you guys are always tuned into my lives. So here we are. So y'all, I had to do this. I had to come on because yesterday was a crazy weekend. So you know we do Rum and Brunch every first weekend. I completely forgot to turn off the Eventbrite ticket sales for Rum and Brunch, y'all. I completely forgot about it. And then this morning I woke up and Eventbrite was like, oh yeah, you know, we're sending you some payments. I'm like, payments for what? People bought tickets from thinking that Rum and Brunch was yesterday, end up going to the place and the place was closed, obviously. So I had to refund people their money and apologize. I felt so bad, but I gotta keep in mind that not everybody follows the Rum and Brunch page. Not everybody follows the Rum and Brunch page. So that was my bad. Good thing is everybody got their money, but I hate wasting people's time because could you imagine people taking an Uber to this place and the freaking place is closed? What a hot mess and unprofessional of me. Okay, so I gotta apologize to everybody. But your refunds are on the way if you're watching. I don't know how a lot of some of you guys found out about Rum and Brunch, but I will tell you this: Rum and Brunch. So the reason why Rum and Brunch, the main reason why, because you know we do Rum and Brunch every first Sundays, and I specifically told people and I get it. Not everybody watches the channel, and not everybody, if I say it's every first Sunday, it's every first Sundays. But I need you guys to verify it by checking the website. Okay, verify that by checking the website to make sure that events are going on. Okay, the website is www.vgirltv.com. Click the events tab. Okay. So yeah, so Rum and Brunch was canceled yesterday. It's usually every first Sundays. Every first Sunday, we were supposed to have a whole Cinco de Mayo uh, plan theme party, but number one, the main reason why we had to move the date is because it was election day in Panama, and so I figured, that election day would not be on a Sunday. I figured that they would have moved it onto the Monday. Should have known better. Should have known better. I should have known that Panama does not play when it comes to anything. So yes, we had to vote on Sunday, and so they stopped selling liquor from Saturday night into Monday. And so the whole point of Rum and Brunch is for people to enjoy themselves. People are definitely going to want to, have a rum punch, and we would not have been able to serve you that. So I ended up switching the day to the 12th. Then after I switched the day to the 12th, um, I got a phone call from the owner basically saying that he sold the spot to somebody else. And so now we didn't have a home to do Rum and Brunch. And as you guys know, I had surgery and it was just going to be way too much for me to try to find a location at the last minute. And so I need everybody to understand, like, we literally, like, people be thinking like, oh yeah, it's so easy putting these events together. I swear to God, it is always something. I have never had a moment when I have thrown one of these events and it has gone smoothly. So the May 12th Rum and Brunch is canceled. It's already not on the website, so you cannot buy tickets on there, and it's definitely not on Eventbrite or any other site where you guys can buy tickets because it is canceled. Okay. There are people that's asking me like, hey, are you gonna have events such and such date? And I keep telling people, go to the website, check the events calendar. And as far as any other events this month, I have no idea. I actually have a meeting with another location sometime this week or whatever, to see if we have a new home for Rum and Brunch. These are things that happen. This is Panama with the last government. Things were a little bit shaky and people just didn't really know where they stood or what was going to happen. And so a lot of businesses closed down. They jumped ship. They was like, you know what, we out of here. We're not investing in this place. We're out of here. So anyway, so election day was yesterday, y'all. Oh my God. It was so intense. And I kept telling people, y'all do not understand that Panama is not like America, where even though it's election day, y'all, the bars are still going to be open. Y'all still going to be drinking and acting the F up. That's not how it works here. That is not how it works. Okay. When the people say you're going to respect this day, that means you are not going to drink on this day. Okay. You are not going to go buy liquor. You're not going to go up in nobody's bars. But y'all just don't listen. Y'all don't understand that. And so I always tell people, like, if you're going to come and visit here, make sure you are not visiting during any type of religious holidays. Don't. Okay. And check the rules and regulations, because y'all will be very upset. And I know how, some people could get like, what the hell? Ah. Listen, when you in Rome, you do as Romans do. So anyway, yesterday was election day. I went and I voted yesterday here because I'm Panamanian. I know I'm from Brooklyn, but yes, I am Panamanian. Two things can be true at the same time, right? And it was so important. I felt like it was so important for me to vote this time around, especially because it's been 5 years of total, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on. No one knew what was going on. No one knew what was going to happen. It was just so many other things I told you guys I cannot discuss here on YouTube. So we're going to have to take it to the webpage. But it was just so much things that happened, and it was like with the mining and the protesting and all that stuff, it was literally so important that we had to vote. And so for me, I felt very proud to be able to exercise my right as a, oh, tú sabes, como una panameña, okay? Yo estaba bien feliz que yo podía votar. So I was happy that I was able to vote. And I'm actually very happy with the turnout of the candidates that are now selected into office because everyone, well, almost everyone that I voted for got elected into office. So I'm happy about that. Even though my friends are not happy with one of the candidates that I voted for because they wanted me to go with somebody else. And I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, one thing I don't like to talk about is politics. Okay. I didn't like talking about politics in the States, and I damn sure don't like to talk about politics now. I think talking about politics is, you know, not everybody's really open minded to other people's opinions, especially when it comes to politics. Like, there are people that are stuck in their ways, and it's okay. You can have a candidate that you love and you want to win. Um, but there are people that will not respect your decisions because they think differently from you, and then they just be going off, and then they take it personal, and then they stop speaking. It's just wild. So I have seen everything, and yeah, everything that you could think of on this internet streets about these elections, and I just choose not to talk about politics. The person that I voted for, I did not tell anyone. The only people that know who I voted for are people that aren't like my mom, my dad, because we all voted for the same people. And I did tell my two best friends here who I voted for, and maybe one other person who I voted for. The rest, I'm not telling y'all anything. Okay. I'm not saying anything because y'all, child, it's crazy. Okay. It was crazy. Anywho, so after the elections and when they, said who the presidency was, I know nobody cannot sit up here and say that it was rigged. People just need to understand, there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. It is what it is. That's just how life is. One of the things I do not like is the fact that people just keep talking about the same thing over and over and over. And I get it. I guess because it's still fresh. This just happened yesterday. But it's just like, okay, the person lost. This is who's the president now. Can we just move forward? Can we just move forward? But I guess it's just me alone that think that way. But I will say that I'm content, I guess. We just gonna have to wait to see what's gonna happen because Panama, there was one point when Panama was like it was okay. Panama was super lit. Like there was so much activity that was going on. There was so much money in the streets. There was so much businesses. People was investing. Panama was active. Panama was super active. Like I wish I could relive those moments because I think those were some of the best times that I ever had in Panama. Like I'm not lying. It's so crazy because one of my friends stopped by at the store today and he was around, like we was hanging out heavy around that time. And he even said it today. He was like, yo, like those were the best times. Like we were living during those particular moments in Panama. And so I'm hoping that we could get back to that because I'm telling you, after that, those years, then COVID hit, and then it was just so many things that just kept hitting that Panama it just was not the same. It just was not the same. So I'm hoping and praying that this year is gonna get better. Okay, this election year will get better, even though we don't really depend on politicians, but in some sort of way, being in a country like this, a lot of things depends on the government, if you know what I mean. So I'm hoping that the new government will do the right thing by the people, porque ya estamos hartas, ya estamos hartas. So we shall see. Anyway, guys, where's everyone tuned in from? Comment in the comment section. Let me know where you guys are tuned in from. I miss all my active people that be in these lives all the time. Like, where's everybody at? I mean, I see y'all, but I don't see y'all commenting. Where's everyone tuning in from today? Oh my goodness. This is giving depression. Okay, it's giving depression right now. Okay, St. Louis, are you planning to move to Panama, Tampa Bay? Hi, Rashad. Hi, Bedina from Brooklyn. Okay, this is what I like to see. I like to see when the lives are active. I don't like to see the lives when we're not participating, y'all. This is it's an interactive live. That's why I come on live to interact with you guys. But one thing that I will say this though, okay? So if you are planning to move to Panama, the new office, the new office, what am I talking about? The new government, especially the president, starts is set to start June 1st. Mind you, the new president's birthday is the day after my birthday. Okay. Holla, he's a Gemini. There will be no Gemini slander allowed in this chat because I will block you. Anyway, so the new office, takes effect June 1st. So those of you who are applying for your residency or your whatever you guys are applying for, you guys need to figure it out now because once you know the government changes, certain laws come into place, certain things get changed, and so you guys really need to pay attention to that. Just my word of advice, because there is going to be some major changes. So for those of you who are in that process, either hurry up and get it done before, or you might be screwed in that changeover. If I'm making any sense. I just seen today that the elected president was talking or had a meeting with the what do you call those people in the embassy, like the head people? What do you call them? The consulate is the consulate of the embassy of the American embassy. So I'm telling you guys, things are going to change. There's things that is going to be changing, and so you guys need to pay attention to that. Okay, so get it. It's always, and the thing is like it's always, and I'm telling you, there was so many changes in this election. Like a lot of the people, like the older people that have been in the Senate, which I'm just gonna say in U.S. terms, because I'll tell you in the Panamanian terms, you're not gonna know unless you're Panamanian. But a lot of the people that were in the Senate, they were not voted in. So it's like new people, all the people that's been there for 20, not all, but majority of the people that was there from 20, 30, 40 years, they are no longer in power. So it's a lot of independent people, a lot of young people. Um, so things are going to change. Things are going to change. And I'm hoping for the better. Okay. Let's pray for Panama that things are going to get better because trust me, it's been a rough 5 years. Not even going to hold you. Not even going to hold you. Of course, girl, because it's I've seen this happen before, especially like with I'm gonna give you an example, like prime example. So years ago, if you were Panamanian and you had children born um outside of Panama. So I'm Panamanian. I had a child that was born in the US. I obviously didn't matter. I could give my child citizenship regardless, right? But then they went and they changed the law that's now it's if you are a Panamanian, you have a child. Okay, this is going to sound very confusing. So if I'm confusing you, let me know. All right. So let's say I am born in Panama. I have a child. I give my child citizenship. And then my child has a child, right? normally if you give your child citizenship, then your child's child should automatically get the citizenship. No. Now it is, if you so I give my child citizenship, my child was born outside of America. If my parents did not give me citizenship before I turned 18 or before I had that child, then I cannot pass the citizenship over to my child. Let me know if you got what I'm trying to say so I can try to explain it better. And literally, that law just changed because the government, it was new government. They put new policies in order, and then that's what happened. So that's why I be telling people, like, whenever there's, election year and things are changing and you trying to get certain things done, and the law is what it is at that moment, try to get your stuff in ASAP, because once a new government comes in, it's a big possibility that certain things are going to be changed. Anyway, so the voting process. So the voting process was completely different from the voting process in the United States of America. Okay, diferente. Okay, from los Estados Unidos. Okay. So in the States you go into a booth and you like, it's like electronic. I know years ago they used to have this thing that you used to like to bring down like that, as because I remember my mom voted before and I went with her in the voting booth and I remember it was like a pull down thing. And then after that, we got a little bit more modernized with time. And so it's completely different. So when you come in, there are like people on the side, right? And each person represents one of the parties that is running for presidency on the left hand side, and they're like observing, okay, to make sure there's no scamming and stuff that's going on. And then on the right hand side, it's a desk, and there's two people sitting at the desk, and those people at the desk, they have like everyone's ID number with their picture. It's crazy. And so then you go in, you give them your ID, which is your cedula. You give them your ID number, and then the people on the left, you basically have to say your name out loud because it's in a classroom. So you say your name out loud in a classroom. Mind you, there's like other people that's voting in there. So you come in, you say your name, and then you say your cedula number. After you say your cedula number, then the people on the chair, on the table, they give you your ballots, right? It's a paper ballot, and each ballot has a different color, and each color represents different things. So you have one ballot that represents the president, another ballot that represents the mayor, another ballot that represents the senator, and another ballot that represents the city official. That's basically how to bring it, if I'm not mistaken, breaking it down. And once you go in and you look at the paper, they have all the different names with the person's picture, which I like because sometimes you don't remember the person's name, but you remember what they look like, so you know who you want to vote for. And then you have to check. Now, this had me extra nervous because they were like, okay, if you check outside of the box, then your vote is gonna be annulled. And if you do this, and so I'm like, and you can't check. It was just very like stressful. Okay, I felt extremely stressed. So I was like, when you're like super careful, like you try to be super careful that you end up making a mistake. That's how bad my anxiety was when I was voting, because I wanted to make sure that I voted for the right person, who I wanted to win, et cetera, et cetera. So I go in, each paper, like I said, it has different colors. You go in and you check the box. Okay. One box. One. Okay. If you check two boxes, your vote is no good. Basura. Waste of a vote. Anyway, so I check my box or whatever. Then you have to fold it, right? And so outside of it, there's like a signature. So when you fold it, you have to make sure that you fold it in a way that the signature is shown, because there's another person that's standing behind the box where you put the boxes in. Oh, and another thing is you have to leave your cell phone on the outside. Like I didn't go in with a purse. I just had my that little credit card thing that I showed you guys that I have, that I block out anyone, them scammers. Well, I had that in my hand, and inside of there was my cellular, and then I just had my cell phone. I did not come with a whole bunch of stuff. And so um they were like, "Oh, you got to leave your phone outside of the voting booth." So the voting booth is literally like a box on top of a table, and it says, the lecture, the tribunal logo on the outside, but it's really just a little box. And so I went, checked off the people who I wanted to win. Shout out to, oh my God, all right. Let me just keep on going because I'm getting a little bit too excited. Then after you fold it, you got to make sure you fold it. Usually you fold it in four. Make sure that the signature is shown, because this was a whole nother stressful situation, right? So on my paper, I only had one signature. Then they were talking about the news that you had to make sure that you had two signatures. And then everybody on Instagram was like, "Oh, you have to have two signatures, because if you don't have two signatures, then it's not valid." And then they said that you're supposed to have it's really supposed to have two signatures, but if you have one signature, then your vote is still valid. And then so it was like all this chaos, like, oh my God. So now I'm thinking, dag, like I got up super early to go vote. Now my vote is not even valid because it only had one signature on there, right? And my mother was like, no, she had two signatures. And I'm like, how did you have two signatures? Because there was only space for one signature on my ballot. But then they came on the news again and said it is valid with one signature. So I was like, whoosh, okay. Anyway, then you put it in, you put each color, if you got the pink envelope, it go in the pink box. If you got the blue envelope, it go in the blue box. If you have the yellow one, it goes in the yellow box, and then you vote. Then after, when you leaving or whatever, you got to go back to the desk again. When you go back to the desk, they have the booklet with everybody at that table. Oh, guys, I forgot this main thing or whatever that I was telling you. So you can go in on a website and you can figure out where where you're supposed to go to vote, but you can only vote at a specific table. So each table has a different number. How it's breaking down, I have no idea, because I'm registered that I live in my mom's house, and my mom had a different place to go vote from where I had to vote. But then when we were like trying to figure it out, why do I have to go someplace different and you have to go someplace different? My mom told me that her table was only people from Cologne. Like it was literally everybody from Cologne. How do they know if you're from Cologne or not? It's based on your cellular number. So if your cellular number has a 3, that's how they know that you're from Cologne. If it has an 8, they know that you're from the city. And so that's how they. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's her cellular number was everybody from Cologne. Mine's, I have no clue. Okay, but I was at a specific table where I had to go vote. And then when you go in, there's no one outside telling you like, hey, they just say, the police was like, oh, just stand on the line. Mind you, I'm with Gia. So I was like, okay, what am I standing on the line for? Oh, you got to just stand on the light to go in. But then I'm seeing just random people just walking in. And so the guy at the door, I'm like, why is all these people walking in? Like, what's going on? And he goes, and I'm like, so then this other lady was there and she was like, okay, give me your ID number or whatever. I'm going to look for you and tell you what number you are, what table number you are, which I already had a screenshot, but I thought she was going to tell me something different. Anyway, me, ding, ding, realized that on the bottom of the screenshot had the table number where I was supposed to go. So apparently, once you get on the line, you're supposed to wait for them a representative with the table to come and get you. That's what the guy should have said, but he didn't say that. He was just like, Anyhow, so after there was a guy with a sign, and he was like, and I said, oh, that's my table number. Go in online. I'm all jumping all over the place, right? Jump online or whatever. When I go in the back, there's another line. Okay, so each classroom had different table numbers. So now I'm on another line. But one of the things that I absolutely loved was the amount of young people that came out to vote. And when I say young, I'm talking about like 18, 19, 20 young people, young. At 18, I was not voting. I did not vote at 18 years old. I didn't give a rat's ass about elections or presidency when I was 18 years old. I was just trying to live life. But the 18-year-olds was outside and they was voting. So I was super proud to see that. And then they let me go early. I mean, early. They let me go in because I had the baby. And I was like, oh, tag, to think I was gonna leave Gia home because I figured she was gonna stress me out. But no, they let me go in and skip the line because I was with my girl Gigi. Anyway, so fast forward now. So now after I put my papers in the little ballot box or whatever, then you go to the right, then they have like a list, right, of everybody at that table. I was looking at the list and I'm like, Dag, how they got my picture? How they got my picture? My picture and my ID, my cedula number was there. It was like my old cedula was printed on this paper and it was there. And I was like, anywho, after that or whatever, you have to sign. So I signed the same way. You got to sign the same way as on your ID. You got to sign the same way. Okay. Even though every time I have an ID, every time I sign, my signature is always different, but I try to make it as close as possible because I wanted my vote to count. And then I left and I went all on my merry way. For the most part, it was smooth. It was a smooth transition. Like it wasn't nothing crazy going on. Like I seen on the news, like people were fighting and all type of crazy stuff. But thank God I did not experience any of that. Uh-huh. We was wondering what we saw the different. Okay, yeah, so that's why. I didn't know you were on live. So, am I pleased with elections? Yes, I am very pleased with elections. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of the people that I voted for um were elected, so I'm very pleased. Um some of my friends are not pleased because we have different political views and reasons why we chose who we chose, and they were not happy with my decision at all. But I'm like, my decision is my decision. I should never told nobody who I voted for from the beginning, but whatever. Actually, okay. Them youngins are swear they having the worst life ever, so they lines up. They were out because no, it is not even about them feeling like they had the worst life ever. I think that because of social media, which people do not understand, because of social media, information is now easier to get. It's easier for you to get social media. I mean, social media. What am I talking about? It's easier for you to receive information versus years ago. The only way that you was able to get information is the news. We all know, no, we all know that the media tells you what they want you to know. The media is also ran by the government. Okay. And I'm not talking about the government here in Panama. I'm just saying in general. Okay. The media is still controlled by the government. So there are certain things that you're not going to know on the government. And I mean, that you're not going to get off of the news. With the rise of social media, sometimes information is false, sometimes information is true, and sometimes information is in the middle, right? But for the most part, people are able to share their experiences. People are able to share news. People are they're able to find out things that they would not necessarily find out if they were only looking at the news. So it made people, especially the younger folks, their eyes open and they realize certain things. And so first was COVID. Then after COVID, we had the whole mining situation. And I think that's what really was, you know, it was a nail on the coffin. And I think because of that, there was so much information that was uncovered. Although the information wasn't uncovered initially for the good of the people, but anyway, it's still not just my opinion. It still came out. And it was kind of like Pandora's box. So you open up one box and you keep on going and 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 going. And then it's just a never, you just keep on finding out more and more information. And I think that's what happened. And then once people started uncovering the truths of what was really going on for the most part, it woke a lot of people up, especially young people. and young people realize that you're never going to see a change if you keep on, for the most part, right? If you keep doing the same thing over and over, you will not see the same results. So them same people that you had there 30, 40, 50 years in office, and there's no real change. Times is changing. And it is true. I don't care what anybody say. Older people do not like change. They want to see things exactly the way it is, because that's what it is. And I know that is true because you still see older people lined up at the bank to cash their checks because they don't want to deposit money in their account. They don't want to use technology. No, give me my check. I'm going to go to the bank and I'm going to cash it, and I'm going to put my money underneath my mattress. Like, you still see it up to this day with older folks. And so I think it's the same thing with the government. Like, when you see older people in the government and they've been in the government for years, a lot of times they don't want to change. They like the way that things are, and that it can't be that, because you have to go as time goes on, especially if you are, running a developing country. As time goes on, you want to try to keep up. I'm not saying you got to do too much, but you still got to try to keep up with the times. If you want your people to excel, if you want the country to develop, if you want the people to develop, these are things that you have to do. And I think having too many older people, I shouldn't say old because my son calls me old all the time. Too many older people in office, it's not going to work. I think it should be a balance of younger people and older people that are open-minded as well, because sometimes it can be a clash between older people and younger people with their views. Okay, it may clash. However, I do feel that it is necessary. So i am I have positive um views and hopes that things will get better under this new government. Okay, if you don't agree, you don't agree, but this is my opinion. So yeah. Oh my God, yes. Okay, I was stressed out. Like, this whole election situation was really stressed out. Like, wanted I wanted May 5th to come fast, and I wanted it to be over because it was just too stressful. I felt like it was a dark cloud just hanging over. That's how stressful it was. Like, I was just like, okay, let's wrap this up. Every time you turn on the news, every time you turn on your phone, every time scrolling on Instagram, it has something to do with the election, and it was like negativity. Like, this one is talking about this one, they're airing out this one, they're airing about this one, and this one talking about this one's family member. It was just too much, and I was just like, okay, we got to get this. Let's wrap this up. I also want to wrap up this whole Trump debacle. I want to wrap up this whole Trump and Biden situation. Also, like, can we just wrap this up? Can we just wrap this up? It's crazy. Am I still having a birthday celebration? I hope you're feeling well. I am still having my birthday celebration because your girl is supposed to be a milestone for me. So yes, I'm celebrating my birthday still, all month long. All month long, I'm celebrating my birthday. If you guys want to send me an early birthday gift, you can send it to me on Cash App. Okay, I would truly appreciate it. My Cash App is Big Girl TV. If you guys want to, okay, I'll just drop that link on the bottom for you if you want to give me a birthday gift. No pressure. So yeah. Oh my. Anyway, guys, so I have a vlog coming out tomorrow documenting my experience with voting. Of course, I could not bring you guys in the voting booth because that would be illegal, and I was not going to go to jail because I'm not doing that. We're not getting fines, okay, for trying to get content. So I gave you guys what I could give you. So that vlog is coming out tomorrow, so you guys will be able to see it. And I, just want to say thank you everybody for tuning into this live. It's been 40 minutes. Your girl is hungry. I have not ate anything. I just got home not too long ago. And I said, let me just hop on here real quick while my food is being cooked. And fill you guys in on a little bit. So Stay tuned for tomorrow's vlog. Okay. Stay tuned. And yes, I am healing well. I am walking. I am working now. I can cough freely without holding my stomach, but I'm still being super cautious. I'm not lifting up no boxes. I'm not doing any of that stuff. So that's what we have right now. All right. So thanks to everyone for tuning into my videos. Thank you guys for everyone that's watching on the replay. You guys are awesome. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.